Hello everyone, this is Niger Coder, and today we're going to be talking about the use effect hook in React. Now, if you're a React developer, you have to be using the use effect hook. It is a very important hook. It helps in a lot of scenarios when you're coding. If you want a function to render immediately after the page has loaded, if you want the function to re-render, maybe when a certain value changes or even a function changes. Um, the use effect hook is very useful in those kind of scenarios. So how do we use the use effect hook? We first import it, but I'm just going to, okay, let me just do that for everyone watching. We can import the use effect hook from React, and then we can call the use effect hook right here. The first argument we have is the function you want to render, which is this. This is the function we want to render when the component loads on the page. We want this to render. And we also have a second argument we can pass to the use effect hook, which is a dependency. Now, if you just want the function to load once the page renders, you don't need to put anything as your dependency. But if you want it to re-render, maybe if a certain value changes, then you can use that as your dependency. We're going to look at an example for that right now. So how can we use effects? So we're going to say, okay, when the page loads, we want the page to create an alert box. Let's say alert me hello world. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're going to go back and we're going to reload our page, and we can see use effects here. If we reload the page, we see an alert box that comes to us and says hello world, and we say okay, and we can see use effects here. So what kind of scenario can we use with use effects hook? What we're going to do, we're going to create a counter that has we change the value of the count. We want use effect to re-render and display the new value of that counter. So how do we create a counter? We can use state. We can say constant count and set count. Then we can use state. If you're not too familiar with the use state hook, I created a video for that. We can say the first state the count should have is 0, since we want to start at 0 and then keep on incrementing it. And then we can come down here to what the user sees on their page. We can say have a button, and we can say if it is clicked, we want to create a function inside the onClick event handler, and we want to set count. We want to take the previous state, that's the previous count, and we want to add it. We want to take the prev and we want to add 1 to it. Just increment it by 1 and close this up. Sorry, I made a mistake here. It's supposed to be here and it's supposed to parentheses. Sorry about that. So with this we can say add 1, and we can come over here and put in our dependency the count constant, so that if the user clicks the button and increments the count by 1, the use effect hook will be rerun. So let's reload our page. Okay, we made a mistake here. We're supposed to use counts. Okay, so we're going to reload now. We can see it starts with 0, like we want it to start with. The counter starts with 0. Now if we come to the button, we say increment it by 1, it increases the count to 1, and the use effect hook re-renders, and it shows us the alert of 1. If we click add 1 again, it shows us 2. it has incremented it by 1. So we say okay. If we add another 1, it increments by another 1 and gives us 3. So what's going on here is very simple. The UseEffect hook is rendering after the page has been loaded, and it shows us the first count, which is 0. And then subsequently, when we increase the count by 1, over here in this function, the value of our count changes to 1, and this UseEffect function re-renders again. So as long as the value of count is changing, the UseEffect function will keep re-rendering. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to the channel. Thank you.